Hi, everyone. My name is Stephen Paw, and I'm the managing editor at CBR.com.
And I'm Ben Kendrick, the publisher of ScreenRant.com.
And together, we are The First Rule. This is a podcast where we go through all of our social media channels and read the comments for some reason. Join us on our mission. The first thing we are going to talk about, though, before we go to Baby Yoda and his snarfling of various things, is something else that has been in contention for a very, very, very long time. And that has to do with Batman v Superman, Ben. Um, we wrote an article
Screen Rant's
called
favorite, Screen Rant's favorite movie.
Screen Rant's secret project, the Scott Snyder,
Yeah.
or Zack Snyder rather, Batman v Superman. Okay, we wrote an article called Batman v Superman: Robin's fate was even more horrific than we imagined, by lead news editor John Arvinin, who I just want to give a quick plug to, will guest star alongside Megan Demore on the Mando After Show, which you can catch for free at facebook.com/comic book resources. That's all one word. Just so you guys know.
But
Speaking of
will
the
he
Mando,
show his muscle? Will he
my
show his
God,
muscles? That's what I
this
need
dude.
to
Okay,
know.
we're not going to go on about this, but this dude is swole as hell. He is huge
Yeah,
and
he's Jack.
just a jacked dude, John Arviden, and also a really, really great guy. So Batman v Superman: Robin's fate was even more horrific than we imagined. So this thing came out recently. I'll just read from the article itself. It says specialty costume manufacturer Douglas J. Stewart shared a close-up of Robin's costume on Instagram, writing, quote, "A bit of detail on Robin's gauntlet. He was brutally murdered and then set ablaze by the Joker." Interesting. The story had to be told in the salvaged costume on display inside the Batcave. Aging and specialty distressing needs to tell the unscripted tales that support the main framework of the film. They only had a couple of days to do this, and it was a lot of fun, he says. So this is a bit of a different kind of context that's given to Robin and Batman in Batman v Superman, or before that movie, and in the DCU overall. What's also interesting about this too, some time ago, Zack Snyder confirmed that this Robin in particular was Dick Grayson, which a lot of people had a problem with, because Dick Grayson was the first Robin, of course, followed by Jason Todd, and then Tim Drake, and then later Damian Wayne, and well, I guess before Damian Wayne, some other people as well. Stephanie, spoiler. So this is an interesting kind of twist, and it does make things a lot more horrifying. I don't know if you, in your capacity as the official website of Zack Snyder and the DCEU, have any thoughts on this, but we'll get to that in a moment. I'll let you kind of gear up everything that you've been sitting on and
Hmm.
writing alongside Zack Snyder for so long. But I think
Yeah.
what this led to for us in our comments, I'll just kind of blast through real quickly. The first thing that I noticed a lot of on our
Hmm.
Facebook page was fan theories, which I think was interesting. This inspired a lot of those. The first one was from Brian Thomas Aragon, who says, "I had a weird working theory that makes this more messed up, if that was possible. My theory is that this version of the Joker is, or at least was, Jason Todd, and that in this continuity he was the first Robin, that is. Hence, the brutality. It's a total left field conspiracy theory. We haven't had enough of those lately, but there isn't much to disprove it yet. I'm open to plot holes, though." So Jason Todd, for anybody who doesn't know, there have been several movies about this, The Red Hood, what have you, died because the Joker beat him to death with a crowbar, and then blew up the building he was in. He was famously voted by DC fans to die. Speaking of, man, there are a lot of voter stuff going on in this. I didn't realize like all the
Yeah,
correlations, Ben.
it's
I
true.
apologize. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
But
Hmm.
I like that. I kind of like the idea that Robin turned into the Joker. That is something that kind of they played with in the Batman Beyond movie, Return of the Joker, where the Joker actually like puts his consciousness into a microchip and then implants it into, I don't remember, I think it was Tim Drake. I can't remember, one of the Robins. And in the future, he becomes the Joker. So this is kind of a twist on that, which I kind of like. It's kind of interesting. Um, Another fan theory, real quickly, is from Johnny Electric, who says, "Johnny Electric? That's great. John Electric. Okay, very good. Instead of
I'm
opening
glad that you just got that
I
right now.
just got that now, and that's so I love that. Instead of opening BVS with the death of the Waynes, which everyone has seen so many times, it's been cliched. They should have opened with the death of Robin. Love that. It would have been an incredible way to set up why this new Batman is the way he is. Plus, the audience give the audience something they've never seen before instead of something they've seen over and over again. To which Sam Mbaye says, "Yeah, right, but Martha." So there you go. Kind of interesting. Do you have any comments on those real quickly before I get into some of the more humorous aspects of this post? Like, do you think starting off with the death of this Robin in such a horrific manner of being burned alive would lend itself to the backstory of this Batman more that people maybe might accept more?
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I think I would have in some ways liked to have known more about the version of Robin that was established in Batman v Superman, because Batman is so jaded in that film. And because he's turned away from some of the things that we traditionally think of when we think of Batman, right? I mean, he's branding people. He's kind of an unhinged and more violent version of Batman than some people were comfortable with. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that, because I do think he's sort of a product of his experiences. He's alone now, and he's only got Alfred, and he's lost people like Robin. So I think there would have been value to have been able to have seen that. The costume is very cool. Like that, it was very striking when we saw that for the first time, and it did beg the question, like, what happened. And you can intuit a certain amount of what happened to him. Obviously the Joker killed him, and you don't know exactly how, but it was traumatic, and Batman felt like he wasn't there for him, and stuff like that. But I could, like, there is part of me, like, I really like Zack Snyder's version of the Martha, the Martha scene, the death of the Waynes. But I I could see the film having been a little less, like, it doesn't seem like something Zack Snyder would do. It seems like a thing a lot of movie studios would do, which is like start with, everybody needs to know why this Batman is so messed up. So start with Robin. We've seen that, we've seen the Wayne murder, scene like a million times before. We don't need to bother with that. But I liked Zack Snyder's version of it, so I'm kind of glad it's there. But I would have been interested to have had an opportunity to have seen, what happened to this Robin, and to have had a bit more detail. It doesn't really matter in the context of the movie, I don't think. I think the costume itself explains why Batman is the way he is. So it is a very Zack Snyder sort of subtle kind of thing, or maybe it's not subtle, maybe it's the opposite of subtle. But there's still part of me that wants to unpack this world that Zack had created. And I think Robin is an interesting part of it that we've only learned about through these kind of, like comments and QAnon data dumps.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I'm not sure how much subtlety will play into Zack Snyder's Zack Snyder's past or future or current vision of things, but it
Yeah.
could be very interesting. And might take $3 million more dollars or whatever it is he's going to do to make that vision come to fruition. Maybe that's where they spent all that
Yeah.
extra money was on this one glove of Robin's. Like, no, we got to get it right.
Just burned. They
Yeah,
like burned the crap out of it. Just like,
you just paid one dude to
yeah.
stand there with a lighter for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
We need more butane.
I always felt like this was, I always I always felt like this was the Jason Todd one, though,
Hmm.
more to me. Like it felt sort of like Jason Todd would have been the one that would have gotten kind of caught up in an altercation with the Joker. But I did like the idea also that some people had theorized that the Joker is Robin,
Hmm.
and that, like, he is Jason Todd, or he is, some other undisclosed version of Robin. I sort of liked that interpretation of Jared Leto's Joker, but it never lined up in a way that made real sense, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if his connection to Jason Todd is as close as it is to Dick Grayson, which is maybe why he wanted
Yeah,
to have that, which
it
makes
makes
sense.
sense. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, speaking of Dick Grayson, though. There are a couple people who took shots at Chris O'Donnell for his portrayal of that character of Robin, which is kind of great.
This
My
just
my
took an opportunity to they were just slagging him in the comments of,
yeah,
like, a completely unrelated article?
absolutely
Okay. Super.
1000% they did. My favorite one though,
Mhm.
someone was basically saying, "Oh, Chris O'Donnell sucks. I'm glad it's not him." But and my favorite one was just Danny Switzer, who put a GIF up there of the scene in Batman Forever where he's pulling him out of something, like he's helping save Batman's life
Oh,
after Tuesday does
yeah.
it. And it's like a
Yeah.
close up of
Yeah,
his
yeah.
face, and he's like, "I gotcha." And it just says Robin laid an egg under it, and it's just his sweating face. Just
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
it's great. It's great. Then there are a
Yeah.
couple people to finish this out, just basically calling Zack Snyder an edgelord, which is interesting. Matus Swist says, "Of course, the ultimate edgelord Snyder would do something like this." To which Gela Khan says, "We need at least one edgelord like Snyder in the MCU. You know, just to shake things up a bit." Sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
My Probably my
I think that's
favorite.
Taika Waititi, I think.
That's definitely Taika Waititi, who's commenting under a pseudonym. So, good job. Uh, I'm gonna close all of
Yeah.
this out. Like we did have quite a few more comments, but it's mostly just kind of dunking on Zack Snyder and his vision, and I think feel like we've done enough of that. I'm interested to see how this is all going to come to fruition, whether this is going to play into the Justice League plot. Probably not very much, but could be interesting. My favorite comment
Well, I mean,
of.
Joker is now showing up in Justice League, so, I
Mhm.
mean, anything's possible at this point.
It is kind of interesting, Ben, but whatever. I'm here for it. I'll check it out. My favorite comment of this post and of the week is from Richard Flores, who says it's the same with Spiderman, as in Spider-Man, but he pronounced it, wrote it
Spider
Spotterman. It's the same with Spotterman.
Spotterman.
I don't know what he means by that, but
Are you
sure, I
sure
guess.
there isn't a superhero named Spotterman that, maybe has something to do with too? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Damn, maybe there is a Spotterman. I don't know. Maybe it's just some like guy's last name who's I have no idea. Um,
Same thing with James Spotterman. Yeah, Spotterman
uh,
MD or something. Yeah.
Spotterman, get in here. We need you. No, that was it for Dick Grayson slash Robin and his potential fate in the DCEU. We'll see how that all goes.